I'm Bill Doyle. Well, my first introduction to the church was at about 1939. Earl Sexauer was the pastor. It was at 6119 Trenner Avenue then, and it's now MacArthur, and it's still there. My folks always rented. Didn't have enough money to buy a house. Until 1939, my dad found this house on 64th Avenue in Oakland, East Oakland, which was just a few blocks from the church that Earl Sexauer had already started. And so my mother would go to church, but my dad wouldn't. He took us, it was only a few blocks, we could walk or drive us to church. And then after Sunday school, he'd be sitting down the front reading the newspaper, waiting for us to come out of Sunday school and go home. Well, it wasn't a large church at the time. As I said, I think it was about 90 people in rough attendance, but I remember a lot of the Sunday school activities. Particularly in summer, we would have daily vacation Bible school. They'd have studying the Bible, and they'd sing, and we'd build the models, and, and they'd say goodbye. And we duly went home, yeah. My brother had a sweeter disposition. He took after my dad, and my dad was a guy that never met a stranger. He was just the kind of a guy that was easy to talk to, and my brother was a lot like him. And I was more like my mother, which was quieter and not as outgoing as my brother. He was really a gentle, nice young person, you know. But I only knew him for a few years, then he was gone. I was 9 and he was 6. I shouldn't get emotional after all these years, but I do. He was doing some chores for my folks at home, and he took the trash out into the kind of a burning pit that my dad had made. And my dad, in the meantime, had been working on the washer, and so he'd use gasoline as a cleaner, you know, for grease and so forth. He left the gasoline setting by it, the side of it, and my brother, when he put this trash in the burning area, he threw gasoline on it, and it kind of exploded on him. He had severe burns, and so he died of poisoning after about 3 months of torment, because I'd go in the hospital and you could hear him as you got closer to his ward kind of just whimpering off and on, you know. Well, it certainly had an effect on the church because it was small, and they all came together to support my folks, and not only in prayer, but friendship, you know, closeness of relationships that really helped my mother and father through that tragedy. They all surrounded my parents with all kind of things, bringing food over, praying with us, making our problem a matter of prayer for the whole church. It was around my brother's tragedy that my dad took another look at life. And I think that's what brought my dad to the Lord, really. In those days, the invitation was to come forward and kneel at the altar, which wasn't a big church, but that's the way we did it. And I went with him. And together we accepted the Lord, and we were baptized in that little church. We had that sadness, but that brought us closer to the Lord as a family and as a church. I think those sincere prayers in those days went a long ways to what it is now. Time goes on and things changed, obviously, and the church grew. The Lord blesses us all along the way, and He's been very good to us. The money has been there, the building, the people, and the Holy Spirit's been there all the time to guide us so we didn't get too far astray. The strength of the people that prayed and believed and obeyed continued to now.